Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between ThorZain and Vortix here on Turtle Rock. Give me a second as I get situated. We have Vortix spawning over here as the blue Undead player, quickly getting that Altar of Darkness and a Ziggurat over here at the 4 o'clock position. Meanwhile, ThorZain spawning all the way across the map as the human player, queuing up a very large number of peasants and now getting a lumber mill first. Lumber mill and Altar of Kings. So very interesting build by ThorZain. Perhaps going to be going for a lot of towers. So this is going to be a weird strategy and we'll see how it works. Now lumber mill first generally works out very well if it is in fact going to be a close spawn on Turtle Rock. ThorZain may be surprised that it isn't going to be a close spawn. I really didn't want a close spawn, as humans seem to be able to just use that militia and really just be able to push really effectively against an undead player or any other player besides human, as human can also call to arms as well. Toma Relics now going down, Altar of Darkness nearing completion, and now a crypt coming into play. So crypt going to be most likely going to be ghouls and a death knight. Now ThorZain staying typical with that Archmage, so going for an Archmage first as opposed to a Mountain King. Archmage first is fairly common on this particular map anyways. ThorZain perhaps wanting to get an extra nice peasant micro by Thor. I don't know what exactly they were referring to, but the observers are saying that Thor had very nice peasant micro for a second. Perhaps he was mining with 3 or 4 peasants for a little bit of time. You can actually do that if you just micro them very well, and you can actually speed up the way at which the peasants walk, and what that does is it allows you to use one less peasant for a little bit of time and until you're ready to have that, and then it's like the 4-man walking micro trick. Blizzard supposedly fixed it some time ago, where that the human players and the orc players always needed 5, but as long as you're microing them, the peasants actually don't slow down. So very nice trick coming in from ThorZain supposedly. I could be completely wrong. Anyways, we have Vortix now moving out with this Death Knight. Death Knight has a Rod of Necromancy and going to be trying to figure out where that Archmage is. Archmage picking up a Mantle of Intelligence +3, so going to be using that very effectively as well. Additional mana and additional damage from that sea turtle or from that attack. Able to get a death coil off onto that Archmage, or onto the Archmage's water elemental, and stealing some experience. I thought at first he was trying to go for the turtle, but instead going for that water elemental allowed him to still get that experience, as the death coil would have been a little bit too little too late. ThorZain now running away with that footman. Death Knight still on his tail, still trying to chase. Archmage now coming across the map, and we'll see what exactly his strategy is going to be. That footman still running around as that Death Knight is still chasing, so perhaps the Archmage wants to do some harassment. Gonna come over here and perhaps take down this giant sea turtle as well. So gonna go ahead and focus down that giant sea turtle. No militia to really back him up here, so that may be a little bit of a misplay. Death Knight now trying to figure out where that Archmage is. Archmage still going to be able to creep out this particular location. Perhaps going to get that, just get the giant sea turtle. It gets another Mantle of Intelligence, so very nice +6 attack. It was almost like a Claws of Attack +6 plus additional mana, which is always nice on that Archmage. But now Ghoul's coming out, so that Ghoul coming out perhaps going to try to get some kill, getting to level 2 onto that Archmage. I'm not quite sure where that kill was in order to get that level 2, but now here comes that footman. Footman getting surrounded by those ghouls. Ghouls trying to do some more chasing. Archmage and Water Elemental trying to fight back a little bit more. One low hit point footman able to squeeze away. No unholy aura on that Death Knight, so those ghouls are not walking particularly fast. Able to do a little bit of a hit and run onto that one low hit point ghoul. Ghoul down to 129 hit points. What a quick death coil brings it back up to pretty much full hit points. And once again re-engaging on that fight. Water Elemental down to gets taken down, but also a single ghoul gets taken down. So ThorZain liking that exchange, as the water elemental only costs mana. Death Knight now sitting almost at level 2, about 2/3 of the way. Footman now trying to run away on that north hand side. Perhaps that water elemental will be able to get a couple free hits off. No, now going after those skeletal minions. Archmage now trying to run back away, trying to deal damage towards that low hit point ghoul. Low hit point ghoul down to 84 hit points, 49, 28. Will it get taken down? Yes, taken down once again. Archmage perhaps going to get a kill off on that skeletal minion. No, now going after those turtles, going after that skeletal minion now, and Archmage still sitting at level 2 with Boots of Speed now. and now trying to take down another skeletal minion, just trying to feed off some experience. So ThorZain now sitting at level 2.5, just picking away at those skeletal minions in order to try to buy some experience. Archmage with those Mantle of Intelligence is able to deal a lot of damage, and also regenerate that mana much more quickly, as that +3 or +6 intelligence also increases the amount of your mana regeneration, plus that brilliance aura, able to really balance things out. Death Knight now trying to move away even more, and that Archmage now trying to squeeze away Unholy Aura on that Death Knight. Death Knight able to do a little bit of pathing on that Archmage. Now Archmage unable to really run around, and now we have a Pandarian Brewmaster from Vortix. So Vortix sitting at level 2 or tier 2, not going for that Lich. So without that Lich, that means that Pandarian and Brewmaster with that Breath of Fire will probably force ThorZain to perhaps try to go Spellbreakers. No, wow, ThorZain quick tech to tier 3, skipping tier 2 and getting a Mountain King. So Archmage going to have a Dwarven buddy and that can throw Stormbolts in just a moment. Meanwhile, the Pandarian Brewmaster trying to fight out, Breath of Fire dealing as much damage as he possibly can, get the Slippers of Agility, and Archmage now pulling back out. Perhaps the Death Knight wants to still continue harassing, and with that Mountain King out in play, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Archmage drops the boot to speed in order for the Mountain King to pick it up, and nice pathing on that Archmage. Archmage trying to get in front of that Death Knight. Death Knight down to 738 hit points and unable to really engage. Now the Death Knight going to be coming back around, perhaps going to get a kill steal on that Gargantuan Sea Turtle. Oh, stops killing it, but still the Death Knight able to get that. So I think that was just barely at 100 hit points. So very nicely done, down to 140, trying to get that last kill, able to bolt on that and Death Knight. Death Knight now down to 700 hit points, still not in really any real danger, as that Death Knight once again trying to squeeze back away. Archmage probably wants to drop another Water Elemental for that Gargantuan Sea Turtle. Taking a look at back over here, we have a Slaughterhouse being produced. Pandarian Brewmaster seen at level 1, does have a Rod of Necromancy in order to creep as well. Gargantuan Sea Turtle running around, and now we're going to have a little bit of a surround here against that backside, and that Gargantuan Sea Turtle now trying to take down that try to take down one of those low hit point footmen. Footmen now, or Gargantuan Sea Turtle still trying to come back around. Death Knight wants to get that last kill, or last Death Coil off. Mountain King does not have enough mana, so the Death Knight may in fact be able to get that Death Coil off, down to 219, 140 hit points, and that Death Knight perhaps wants to get a hit on it, and then take down that Gargantuan Sea Turtle. Hits it down to 113, and down to 89. Death Coil picks up the Scroll of the Beast. Very nicely done. Very nice kill steal by Vortix. Vortix getting that experience and getting those items. ThorZain, very low hit point footman's now trying to run back to his base. Pandarian Brewmaster sitting at level 2. Gonna finish off this Gargantuan Sea Turtle, waiting for a couple of Obsidian statues to come into play. The Obsidian statues in order to heal a lot of these low hit point ghouls that are now coming back. I think I saw a Paladin starting to be trained. So yeah, Paladin now being trained, Workshops now coming in, and now we also have some Griffins. So Griffins and Workshop for ThorZain. ThorZain coming off with a particularly interesting strategy. Staff of Sanctuary on ThorZain as ThorZain's Archmage. Archmage will be able to start teleporting units back to base and try to get them back up to full hit points. So perhaps deny some experience for that Death Knight. Death Knight now sitting back over here, perhaps waiting to push in. Pandarian Brewmaster on the other hand, sitting at level 2, gonna get to level 3 off of this. Should get to level 3. Is he gonna get to? Yeah, gets to level 3. Level 2 Breath of Fire. Death Knight now trying to push back away. Archmage and Mountain King continuing to push. Death Knight does not want to get caught by a Stormbolt. Plenty of mana on that Death Knight. Plenty of mana on the Mountain King. Death Knight now gets a nice surround, so very nicely done, forcing Vortix to use that Scroll of Town Portal. Archmage is going to try to creep out this Goblin Merchant Shop right now, as he gets some time away from that Death Knight and is able to clear out this particular creep count. Mountain King sitting at level 1, Archmage sitting at level 2, Paladin still sitting at level 1. Going to finish off that Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi coming in, Pandarian Brewmaster coming in as well. Level 3 with the Potion of Greater Mana, and units now trying to pull back away. Mountain King, bolt on that Pandarian Brewmaster. Pandarian Brewmaster down to 600 hit points, and now Breath of Fire hitting a lot of those units, and once again trying to pull back out. Level 3 Pandarian Brewmaster, and perhaps going to get a little bit stunned again. Yes, stunned once more, down at 200 mana. That's going to be very dangerous. Another Breath of Fire, a lot of low hit point units. One Footman goes down, perhaps now trying to heal another Footman, and the Archmage's Water Elemental down to 83 hit points as well. Vortix is now trying to run around. Has a lot of obsidian statues, now turning into destroyers, absorbing that mana. Could probably devour the magic of that water elemental in order to heal and also take down some of these units. Those griffins, not a good counter towards these units, as those destroyers are up in the air and have plenty of mana. Pandarian Brewmaster down to 163 hit points. A little bit of trouble right now. Mountain King does not have enough mana, but that Pandarian Brewmaster running away down to 79 hit points. No Boots of Speed still on that Archmage. Archmage getting a couple hits off down to 40 hit points. Is it going to be enough? And then, oh, Breath of Fire, and down it goes. So level 3 Pandarian Brewmaster gets taken down. Destroyers are up in the air, not focusing down the low hit point footmen. And I'm going to take this time and this pause in the game to say stay tuned for part 2 and the conclusion of this replay between Vortix and ThorZain here on Turtle Rock.